Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the Medley Show, and I am super excited to be in front of your screen today. Are you happy? Are you glad to be part of the program today? I am sure you are, because every time we come here for the next 1 hour, we bring you something always very interesting. My name is Tochi, and as always, for the next 1 hour, I will be your host. Okay, so the program has started, and I'm sure you're wondering, what are they talking about today? I'm going to play a very short clip for you, and that will set the tone for our conversation for today. When we get back, you will know what we're talking about today on the show. Stay with us.
Medley Show.
The Medley Show.
Na-egekwa ọga gị ntị n'okwu. Ihe ọ bụla ọ sị gị mee ka ị ga-eme.
Achọ nke ịdọla aka gị na-abụ na ntị. Afọ m efuna. Sa? Ezukwa na ego m.
Know how you come to the whole of this plaza? That you come to Odogu and Sons, importer, exporter, international. That you know see what you will like. One chacha. Now, God, daughter.
Asanwa, my color, Nebiano,
Keto so what I'm with I. In a pogono no me room. It's no hang with I. Only you can swim and quite give you. But with chigon. With chigon. In a chicken, a man organic dupugunota. Polo. I see us. Is it Bunya secure? Mono Dugano go to Pibia. A butuzo, ne Duguno. An odemma. Get a najo. Odemma. Polo. Okwagi na de asiwana Okechukwu kama. Okechukwu kama. Ya wukwa na wo mazi tupu ahogbu ha. Hey. Ole kusina no diri ya. Rotekwa na muna gị bụ nwanne. Site agawa. Muna gị abụrụzi nwanne. Cha. Onye ọbụla sabafa nna ya.
Medley Show.
The Medley Show.
So that is the 2023 movie Afame Funa by Kayode Kasum. I'm sure you already have an idea what we're talking about today. No, we are not talking about movies, but we are using that movie as, a base to our conversation. Today we'll be talking about the Igbo apprenticeship system in Nigeria. Okay, so let me tell you something. The Igbo apprenticeship system in Nigeria is a traditional form of education and economic organization, but it's very prevalent among the Igbo people, primarily in the Southeast. Yes, by people. We're very proud of it. So it is known locally as Igbo boy. Some people call it Nwa boy, They're different, depends on which part of Igbo you're from. They call it, but it's popularly known as Igbo boy. And we also discovered that a 2021 Harvard Business Review calls it a Nigerian model for stakeholder capitalism. So now you understand why it's very important that we talk about it today. So that's what we'll be discussing today. Of course, I have some very interesting guests in the studio, and you will get to meet them. I mean, this thing is something that I can totally relate with. If you've listened to me over time on the show, you've noticed that one thing I've always said is that I grew up in Jos, and of course I'm Igbo. So my dad, I'm from Nnewi as well. So if you know the people of Nnewi from Anambra, we're known for selling car parts. So that was my dad's business. So anybody in Jos who is familiar with Jos and knows Dilimi, you will know that that was like our hub. So I grew up around these things. My dad had about 7 or 8 boys under his care, who were, of course, one boy. So the system has, it runs by pick these boys from the village, and then you train them in your line of business for about 7 years. and right after that you settle them to start the same business or maybe another business. But it's just like grooming these boys in a traditional system, and then they in turn become entrepreneurs. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. And of course, I have people in the studio today who have gone through that system of education. But before you get to meet them, let's give you a background report on the Igbo apprenticeship system. I've said a little about it, but this is more in-depth. Watch this and we'll be right back.
Medley Show.
The Medley Show.
The Igbo apprenticeship system involves the experienced business owner, known as the master, taking on an apprentice who learns the trade under his guidance. The apprentice, in turn, works for the master for a set period, during which they learn the skills and knowledge necessary to start their own business. The apprentice, known as Nwa Boy, leaves his parents and lives under the care and supervision of an established business Igbo person who becomes his master and mentor. He does all of the home and professional duties that the master assigned him for the predetermined number of years while in his service, and thereafter he is settled to run a business of his own.
My boy is somebody you bring into your business, into your family, to run business with you. He knows every in and out about your business, how you bought, how you sell. He take over the whole business when you are not around, just like a practical aspect of a job. So when he step in, he learn. On process of learning, you send an error, at least monitor him to see how good he is on process of the serving. Then it depends on how sharp an agreement you have with the person or the family. And as you are working with him, you learn, you monitor to see how intelligent he is, to see, yes, if this person is able to start, no matter amount you give to him to start something.
The history of the Igbo apprenticeship system stretches back generations of pre-colonial Igbo society, where communities fostered self-reliance and trade. This model was born from the Igbo people's innate entrepreneurial spirit and the need for practical skills over formal education.
Most people do agreement. It depends of where the person is serving. Some doesn't work on agreement, but as he is serving, you watch over him. From 5 years up, you can be able to know if this person is capable to handle.
Various skills are imbibed in the apprenticeship training period. These skills are technical, managerial, and interpersonal skills. Some of them are human relationship management, inventory control and analysis, supply chain management, quality control, bookkeeping, and accounting. They are also tutored to focus on the returns on investment to enhance enterprise expansion while maintaining no familiar relationship when it concerns business.
It depends on individual too. There is one boy you will get, he will be more smart. Some are not smart, that is nature. If you get a smart one boy, yes, it's through one boy you can have a customer that can convince a customer how the product work, the best use and best good of the product, and the bad use of the product. With the very intelligent one boy you have with you, no matter area you send him, you have no reason to be afraid because he must deliver. Can even be the reason why the business is progressing. So without him, no business. Some particular customer will come and demand for him. So, but if he's not doing well, nobody comes to demand for him. And when he's being settled, the same people he treats well under his master will be the same people who begin to look for him after he's been settled. So that is the essence of their smartness.
Despite the globalization accentuated influence of Western business culture, the Igbos have sustained their indigenous business system, undergirded by an ingenious apprenticeship system. This apprenticeship system has existed for decades as an important heritage, embedded in cultural norms and values passed down from generations. This age-long tradition, which has been successful in reducing poverty and social inequality among the Igbo tribe in the southeastern part of Nigeria, can be adapted and deployed as a model for public wealth creation and reducing poverty across Africa.
The Medley Show.
Thank you so much, Semben, for that report. That was a backgrounder on the Igbo apprenticeship system, which is our conversation for today. Of course, if you're just joining us, this is the Medley Show, and you're just in time to meet my guest. So I have someone in the studio who went through the Igbo apprenticeship system and, of course, is doing very well in his business today. And he will be sharing his story with us. His name is Uche Maramoha. Uche, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Are
too.
you okay, Uche?
I'm very okay.
Okay, so first of all, where are you from? I know you are Igbo.
Eastern, yeah.
Yes, so where are you
I'm from Imo State.
Okay.
Njaba local government area in Imo State, Nigeria.
So when did you serve and when were you settled?
Okay, I started my service year 2006.
Okay.
Then I was settled 2013.
That's 7 years later.
Yes, it was agreed that I was supposed to serve him for 6 good years. Then later on, my master now said he used 1 good year for a trial.
One year was probation.
I'm telling you. So I needed to serve extra one year.
An extra one year
to make it 7 years.
Okay. So at what point, before I ask you how your experience was, at what point did you decide, or did you know that you were going to be one boy? You were going to serve a master before you start your own business?
Okay. When I finished my secondary school, I was very stubborn then. So my parents actually used it as a punishment for me to learn, because I was
Did you refuse to go to school?
No, there was no money for me to further my education because I'm the first son of my mom.
Okay.
So I needed to go and learn business.
Something.
They promised me to go and learn it. Then after 1 year, and not knowing that I'm going to serve. So after 1 year, I told them I'm done. They said no, I'm going to serve the man. And that wasn't the agreement, what they told me. So I have no choice than to continue serving because I was enjoying the company.
What craft was that?
I would deal with female shoes.
Okay.
And ladies' bags.
Okay.
Yeah, the Otako market here in Abuja.
So you served here in Abuja?
Yes, I served here in Abuja, Otako market, year 2026. So I was settled in the year
2006.
2006. And I was settled 2013. So it was a very beautiful experience because you are going to meet somebody that you don't know from a different home, different environment, different place, seeing people that you have not been with for the first time. But I thank God saw me through. I was able to cope. I was able to settle. I'm now on my own. I'm my own boss.
Let's talk about your experience.
Okay.
How was the experience for you? I know you said after the first year you enjoyed the experience for 1 year, but you wanted to leave. So let's talk about the experience for you. How was it? How did you find it? What were some of the lessons you learned that made you, because you said it was good. So what made it good for you?
Because it will expose you to people that you don't know.
Okay.
And another thing, you have to have that patience because you're going to meet people that from different places. Sometimes customer can come in, try to get you angry. You understand? So the way you relate to them is the way you build yourself on your own. I have a lot of experience serving because in the business that I serve, if you can't go through that service, you won't be able to cope because there are a lot of things that you learn, you acquire a lot of knowledge. Like after 1 year, I was serving Morga, then he now see how hardworking I was. So he now decided to open another shop. He have that trust in me. Because after 1 year, he said, wow, this guy is actually doing well. He opened another branch for me and handed, yes, I was doing well. So you have to open another branch for me then and hand the branch over to me to be taken care of. Then I was opportunity to travel on my own to market. He took me to Lagos where he buy things. He shows me to his customer that I'm his new one boy. You understand? So it's a very good experience I had. And I was able to know how to manage money. Yes, because if you can't serve, you won't be able to manage
separate
business.
Your capital from your profits.
Because it's a very difficult task. Then he will bring some goods. He will tell me this one is so amount, this one is so amount. Then you now know how much
pricing
you can put on top to sell to make a profit. So the experience is something I won't forget.
This is amazing. I feel like you're outlining most of the things that they go to school to learn, but you learned it on the street.
Yes.
And it is so amazing. So now I want to talk about how this experience, has helped your personal, how has it helped you as a person, Uche, to grow? And then how has it contributed to your professional growth as well? Because now you're an Oga, you have your own business, you have boys serving you now. So this experience that these things that you learned, how did they help you as a person first? And then how have they helped your growth in business?
It actually helped me, and that is what kept me going in business today. The experience I had when I was serving my boss. You understand? Because business is not easy. Business is one of the most difficult things someone can do. Because to get a stage, sometimes you lose as if everywhere is dry. Like during rainy season, market used to be very dry. So you need to be patient with the business when it pick up. So if it's someone that did not go through that process of serving, like Igbo boy, if you didn't go through the process, you won't be able to cope in business.
So you're saying someone can't just
go into business.
You didn't serve. You can't just go and open the same trade.
It will be very difficult for you because you won't be able to cope. You can even open a business after 6 months, you run away.
Because you didn't learn
You didn't go through the process. You didn't learn. There are some things that you need to know. Number one, you have to have patience. Business needs patience. So if you open a business now, maybe after 2 days, the business is no longer moving the way it used to be. Like once we enter rainy season, there was time market everywhere used to be dried. So we need patience that time to cope that period. So if someone that didn't go the process, didn't learn, didn't know about an Igbo boy, you find it difficult. That's why sometimes you see some people dropping from business, looking for something else to do.
Wow. That's amazing.
And that is one of those things that keep me moving in business today.
Okay, so now all these things that you learned, you have boys serving you. Let's talk about your knowledge transfer system. How are you now imparting them with the same thing that you learned in order to run your own business?
Okay, sometimes I tell them my own stories, what I passed through when I was serving, the patient, the things I endure.
It's like the biggest thing you learned is patience.
Like the first day I started business, I came to my shops. I never know, there are some colors they will tell you, go and get pink shoe for me, go and get yellow, go and get orange, those colors. And I'm not conversant with those colors then. And if my guy send me, go and get Uche, go and get me that gold shoe there. Probably I will mistakenly go and carry another color. He will hit me, the shoe on my head to call my attention, Then when next he will now ask me, go and get me that gold shoe.
Now you know gold shoe.
I picked. You understand? Then secondly, honesty is one of those things. I was very honest. But when I left my village, I was going to serve my boss. My parents sit me down, told me that, look at where you're coming from. So 1 naira, 2 naira, don't take. And he actually helped me. So my boss I have under me now, I keep telling them that. Because the little you take from me won't take you anywhere. You understand? That honesty actually helped me a lot during my service as one boy. And you're teaching your boys the same thing? I'm teaching them, let him know. And that thing again, handing the business over to God. They say God first. So these are those things that establish me, keep me moving in business today. At least by God's grace, I've settled one or two under me. Since 2013? Yes, I've settled 1 or 2 under me, and I still have like 2 with me now. So they are doing well. As long as they are doing well, there will be a story to tell concerning me.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm going to open the phone lines very shortly, but before I do that, let me ask you this, Uche. Let's talk about some of the challenges that you had to face in these 7 years of serving your boss and how they've strengthened you to be a better person.
The challenges were very tough. Like when I met my boss, he was single then. He's not yet married. So after like 4 years, he now got married. And when a woman comes in, it's a different thing entirely. So that 3 years I spent under his roof with his wife, it was a very tough experience for me, period for me.
How so?
Well, thank God
I want to understand what she was doing. Like, what did she do that made it tough? Did she tell him to, did she stop feeding you? Did something happen?
Then, when I told him, like I said before, my boss opened my own shop for me, where I run his own, the same business for him, because of how hardworking I was. So then, but the wife would prefer to come to my own shop because I have eyes for fine flashy things. So when I go to Lagos for my business trip, I pick up the
ones
latest.
You put in your shop is different from the one you put in your
So she liked the kind of things I sell than the one the husband sells. So sometimes he will come to my shop, he will pick a shoe from my own shop, the one I'm running for the husband, and he says he's going to give me money, and he will not give me the money. When I now report my boss will be the one questioning me, and I'll be the one to be blaming. But who am I to stop Madam from coming to my shop to pick a shoe? So it was a very tough one, and domestic everything was doubled. I woke up as early as 4 o'clock to start washing plates, doing a lot, in fact.
Okay, this is quite funny because
it's one of those things that keep me going today. Then I was seeing as if I'm being treated badly, but it actually helped me in life today.
Okay, so we're going to continue this conversation and I'll open the phone lines. But first of all, let's go to the streets. This Vox Pop, we went on the street to find out how much people know about the Igbo apprenticeship system. And these were the responses that we got. Watch this and we'll be right back.
The Igbo apprenticeship system is like a culture to the Igbos, whereby they empower their younger ones by buying and selling, maybe provision stores. Like when you go to my village, you see Igbos. There is no village you go, you don't see Igbos. So when they do that, they bring in their junior ones, train them 1-2 years. After 1-2 years, they now got their stuff.
Like when I was young, when I was growing up, like Igbos, the way they are, like they have sales boys or maybe sales girls at times. So what I know about them is that after you've served them, then when you you learn work, then after you serve, you finish. That is after you're through. Like when they think that yes, you are capable of opening your own business, so they will support you. It's actually a great idea.
Well, I admire the Igbos when it comes to trading because they know much about the trading system. They know how to market their products and they know the value of money. So I like the way they trade and I love the sense, the knowledge they know on, trading and marketing system in our economy today. And I would love to learn from them actually.
In Nigeria, I always commend the Igbos for actually, taking it upon themselves to actually, train their fellow Igbo people. In fact, there is nowhere in this part of the world or in Nigeria that you don't even see Igbo. You see them, actually, telling their fellow Igbos to learn, under their tutelage. And then after some years, you see them actually settling these people. So they always go as far as actually investing a lot in their fellow Igbo. So it's quite, interesting and it's quite, like I said, interesting.
Because it's common in the Igbo side, they give one another a helping hand. Though we still have some lacuna, because I have a friend, childhood friend, that's actually an apprentice to a man selling clothes into the clothes business. So at the end of about 5 years tenure, when he get to settlement, though the guy has learned a lot, but the man refused to settle him. That is where the problem is. But it's a way of training the young ones, particularly maybe relative or somebody they know, in trading system of Nigeria, how to buy goods and how to sell it. So it's a way of giving help to the holder.
It's, in my opinion, it's really nice. Like, you have a business, you bring in somebody to work for you, you teach them, and later on you give them some money so that they can go and start their own business. I really like it a lot because I support business.
Amazing thoughts there from the streets. I'm actually glad that a lot of people know and understand the Igbo apprenticeship system. Okay, I still have Uche in the studio, and we have been discussing his experience in the Igbo apprenticeship system, which we call in our local parlance Nwaboy, and how it has translated into him being an Oga of himself. Okay, so I'm going to open the phone lines right now. The number to send your messages, please, no calls, to 091-3898-9550. The number should be on your screen. So send your messages, anything, questions, your experience with the Nwaboy system, whatever it is you want to talk about on this topic, send those messages and I'll get to read them on the show. So Uche, we are still talking. You were telling me about your challenges. Okay, you made me laugh a lot when you mentioned that when your Oga got married was about your biggest challenge. But I want you to talk to me about some of the challenges, because like I said, I was around this thing for a very long time before, I left Jos. I've seen issues of money getting missing, account not balancing, one thing or the other, exchanging goods with another shop and then not being able to. So I want to talk about those kind of things.
Okay, that one is another tough experience I had. Like when I was having my boss, sometimes he will keep some monies in some places just to test me. And once I see those money there, I will just gather it and call him, Oga, see this money, you misplaced it. Not knowing that he was one that just...
You passed the test.
I passed the test.
Okay.
Then when you come to checking of goods, it's almost every week my Oga used to come to my own shop to take a stock, to know whether his market is growing, or I'm eating his money. And every week, everything will correspond. Every week, everything will correspond. In fact, I passed a lot of tests but it's not always easy, because sometimes you'll be tempted. But I keep remembering the words that my parents told me. Don't forget where you're coming from. Anytime I remember that word, even if it's 15 naira, sometimes I washing his trouser, I'll see like 3,000 naira inside. I quickly pick it and keep for him. Then another challenge is again, like sometimes we'll come to market, there won't be market. Everywhere will be dry up. And my guy will be the last person to give you money to go and eat afternoon food if you have not made yourself.
Wow.
I'm telling you the truth. If you make your first sales by 3 o'clock in the evening or 4 o'clock,
when you're going to
that
eat.
is when you eat your afternoon food.
Wow.
So it ginger me to go to the street and call customer and hustle. Sometimes, hello, my color, my size.
Oh, no, that sounds
please come
like
and check. I have some lovely shoe, I have something that you like. I have just, to convince customers to come, because that will make you to hustle. Because, if you don't sell, you won't be able to eat afternoon food.
Okay. So there's a very funny notion that surrounds this Nwaboy business thing. I mean, I've heard it a lot. I've also seen it, and Nollywood has also helped us to see that those things happen. So it's the fact that a very common characteristic with this Nwaboy is taking their Oga's money and chasing girls. Like, you have to do big boy. I don't even understand what I'm trying to say. Like, every time you see a lot of them, is that notion true? Does it really happen, and was it your experience?
I never have such experience.
Maybe not you, but you had other
it's happening. During my time, I have some of my Nwaboy colleagues them in the market that have that experience.
They would steal their
They would steal their
money.
husband to go and give their girlfriend. But me, I never have that experience, because I know what brought me.
Okay.
And I'm there to achieve my aim. You understand? My Oga is the kind of person that he monitors you everywhere you go. He won't even give you room for that. To the extent that even when I come back from work, he keeps searching my bags every day to know whether there is anywhere I had 15 naira.
So he didn't like really trust you like that?
Like the first 1 year, he was doing it because the trust was not there. It was after 1 good year I stayed with him. He tried all the strategies, but he noticed that I'm a very faithful person.
Okay.
That was when he stopped all those searching of things.
Okay. So I'm going to take a few messages. We're still going to have a conversation, but I already have lots and lots of messages coming in. So let me take some of them. Some of them are also questions, and then we'll get to talk about it as well. So this is from Enzo in Abuja. He says, I'm an Igbo boy, and the Igbo my boy business is good. Thank you so much, Enzo. So I have another one. Please help me ask Uche if... Oh, okay. No, okay, this is actually a very funny question. He's asking if you can take his son... if you can take his son to be your apprentice. Right. Okay, so this is Ibiso from Port Harcourt. So he's saying, can someone from another tribe be a Nwa boy? And what is the guarantee of being settled by the Oga after service? I think I agree with this question. I was going to ask you that because I've also only noticed that it's only Igbo boys that these Ogas take under their tutelage. And so it's begs for an answer. Is it only Igbo boys that they take to be Nwa boy?
I think it's, for me, I would say it's mainly based on Igbos. We like going for people that are from Igbos because people that understand the language and everything about the business. When you come to business, Igbos are #1 in Nigeria.
Oh, without a doubt.
In fact, they do it very well when you come to business. Not just now that other tribes are coming into business. You understand? Igbos are not the kind of people that they rely on government or other things. Their business
in
is,
kind.
yes, in kind. That is what they do more. So they prefer going for an Igbo.
Okay.
Not that other tribes may not do well, but probably they're looking for someone who understands.
I think maybe it's about communication too.
Yes, and communication matters. Because sometimes a customer can come to your shop now. If it's
Did you just use the word Ibotic?
Yes, now. A customer can come to your shop now. Maybe he's not an Igbo, and your guy wants to use Igbo to tell you, communicate with you. If you are not Igbo, it will be very difficult. Probably the person is pricing and he wants to use Igbo to tell her to increase the price, tell you to increase the price for the person. If you are not Igbo, it will be very, when you come to communication, it's another big problem. Why they can't go for another tribe.
Well, I sort of agree with you because, like I said, my dad had about 7 to 8 boys. I remember all their names. I could call their names. There was Austin, there was Kashmir, there was Victor. There were so many of them, and they're all Igbo. And my dad had this little office inside, then the outer shop was, where they sold those spare parts, and you'd see them come. They were always standing outside, calling customers. It's like there's always a little tussle between them and the one boy of the next shop who you're going to bring to your... Yes. It's an interesting experience to watch. Yeah. But that's not all that Ibiso is asking. She's also asking that besides just taking only Igbos, what is the guarantee that after these 7 years, they will settle? Because apart from seeing them in Nollywood movies, I've also seen experiences where maybe the Oga doesn't have money to settle the person, or he's had little challenges in his business, or there's an issue. And then all of a sudden, in the 6th year, or 6.5 years, something comes up and all of a sudden they're not settling the boy. So
okay,
what's the guarantee?
I would like to use myself as an example. Because when I was having my Oga, like I was told that 2 guys came before me who served him they were not being settled. Like 2
people that came before you, they were not settled.
Served Moga, but he didn't settle them because of one story or another. So when I was told that, but I keep telling myself my own case is different. I know the reason why I'm here.
So there are cases where they don't settle these boys?
Yes, there are a lot of cases. Sometimes they are being set trapped.
And they fail?
They failed. And some Ogas are good on it. Once you remain like 1 year for your settlement, they will look for a way. Like after my 6th year, the extra 1 year I served was hell. There was a lot of temptation from here and there for me.
Just so that you don't get settled.
They were looking for fault. Okay, can you imagine after...
Wait, so it's also possible that these ogas deliberately look for fault?
Yes, of course, they do it. To damage your image, to rob you the remaining 6 or 7 years you have been with them.
Okay, in saying that, are you now saying that they're not being sincere with the system? Because the system is, after 7 years, I settle you to do your business.
That is the system, but sometimes some of them don't play to the system. They want to look for a way to frustrate you.
So that they don't settle you.
So that they won't settle you, they will look for someone else. Like after my 7th year, I was to be settled. Normally, according to Igbo, once your guy came to pick you they reach an agreement how many years you're going to serve him, he will bring you back to your village, that your hometown where he took you, to come and settle you. That is how they used to do it.
Yes, it's like a little ceremony.
Yes, they will buy, drink, cook, celebrate for your being free, being settled. So that is how it's supposed to be. Then he was supposed to come and settle me in my hometown. He now refused that we will be the one to come to their own town. And he's not done that way. He was just looking for
different
way. Because he have looked for faults up and down, he didn't see. Because I'm the only successful person that have served him after 3 of his boys left.
Wow, that's not a good story. But that does not mean that system does not work.
Yes.
So let me take a few more questions. An interesting topic, though. If anyone wants to learn a trade from you now, how will you ask? Okay, now... This person is also asking if you're taking people under you at this moment. Please do not ask Uche to take you. Don't ask Uche to take you. Let's just have this conversation. Okay, so I'm Princess from Abuja. It's an incredible experience learning a trade before starting up your own business. And the Igbo people are incredible because it helps a lot who couldn't further their education due to low finance. Okay. Uche is a great personality and I really admire him. Omoba Tizi in Lagos. Okay, now these are people sending you goodwill messages. I guess your story has touched a lot of people. Okay, now this is another message asking to serve Uche. My experience on this system with the few people who I grew up with together was really good. After secondary school, my childhood friend, Tochuku, went to serve while I was preparing to write JAMB after 5 years of my course. When we met much later in life, Tochuku was a boss because his boss settled him to start up his own business and he had his own shop on the same line with the same business his Oga was doing. When I look at the shop, I was wishing I did the same thing. Okay, this is not in any way trying to talk down on education, okay? So do not say that because the Igbo apprenticeship system is working, you're not going to go to school. We're just trying to see how this model of learning and picking up a skill helps young boys and girls who maybe didn't go to school or couldn't further their education and are able to do the same business that someone else in the classroom learned and is able to translate it and grow their business. So it's not in any way saying that going to school is not as profitable. So do not mix up the two. It's really a great way of helping people secure their future despite the suffering in the country. Some unlucky ones go through that, but it helps in getting them ready and prepared for the future, thereby growing the economy. I'm excited because this also helps to grow our economy in its own little way. Michael Oga Iguve from Benue State. So some bosses are too wicked that they won't want to settle their boy. Why would the boss want to test his one boy at the last year of his service? This person is speaking based on what he just said, because it is real that sometimes when these things happen. But let me ask you this. Were you never tempted? Were you never really tempted to want to take the money or do something or even spend the money on your girlfriends, which is a normal thing that 90% of the one boy that I know do?
Like when I was serving my boss, I never had a girlfriend because there was no time for it.
You were too busy hustling?
Yes. Because the only girlfriend I have was when I was still in the village. So there was no communication, there was no phone for me to communicate, so everything just ended there. So I have to focus on the business that I am into.
Okay.
You understand? So there wasn't like a girlfriend.
So you were never, besides woman tempting you, they go to drink, you know, they hang out a lot together as one boy. I don't want to say there's a community of one boy, but there was something like that, you know. So they also gathered to drink. There was none of that for you. You were just focused on making the money.
It's not that I was not being tempted. I have friends around me then, like neighbors near shop that drinks. Like Sunday, they will call me. But my boss is the kind of person that will not allow you to step an inch, even Sundays. From Monday to Saturday, we are in the shop.
Okay.
It's only day I will have time to read is Sundays. And that Sundays, I have domestic work at home waiting for me. Once I go to church, there was no time for friends, there was no time for girlfriend, there was no time for one bottle.
You were focused on this thing.
Yes.
You were focused on
Once I come back from church, the next
years.
thing is washing of clothes, tidying the house. Before you know, it's already 5 o'clock in the evening, so there was no place for me to do.
Okay, so let's take a few more messages. In the process, okay, this is a question. Benson from Lagos is asking, in the process of testing an apprentice and he fails, what is the usual penalty for this?
The penalty is that the man will refuse to settle you.
To settle you?
Yeah, he won't settle you. Probably he will look for one allegation that you carry this money. Sometimes they will tell you they are looking for one huge amount of money.
Wow, and they're really not looking for it.
And they are not looking for it. They are just looking for a way not to settle you. So
the penalty most times is that they don't settle you.
They don't settle you. Once they
there's
find
no room
for
like they don't there's no room to forgive.
It depends on the case.
On the person.
Yeah, it depends on the kind of person you are serving and the case.
Okay.
If it's money issue, it will be very difficult for them to be for you to be settled.
Okay.
But if it's like a women issue or you went to drink,
they can let go of that one.
They can let go of that.
All right. So Great Alama from Abia State says, the man on the show, I like the story of the man on the show. It's quite touching. I wish him all the best. I understand all he is saying, and I love the show. It's quite educating. So many people have this experience, and I'm glad when they come out on top. So congratulations. There's some to you, Chase. I mean, there are so many other people who go through this and they don't have the same story that you have, but you're encouraging so many other young boys who are probably doing the in the Nwa Boy system at the moment. Okay, good day. My name is Kenechukwu from Enugu State. I served as Nwa Boy for 3 years and ended up with frustration. It's cool when you meet the right Oga, and I want to assure you that it's not easy at all. It's successful when you meet the right Oga and he is good to you as well. So besides the one boy making a mistake, if you don't have a good Oga, it could also affect you. Because I remember one time when I was growing up, now this one sort of answers the question of why they take Igbos more. My dad had this boy, I don't want to call the state where he took him from. It was a friend that brought the boy, helped me train this boy. After 2 years, he ran away. And he never came back. Was it 2 years? I think it was maybe more or less. I can't quite remember now. Yes, he couldn't cope with all of that. So sometimes, like he said, it could be right Oga. So let's talk about your Oga may not have been so bad to you, but I'm sure you may have seen some experiences of some other boys who were your friends whose Oga were really terrible to them. So how does that really affect? Because now a lot of people have a good impression of how the Igbo apprenticeship system helps the growth of the economy in its own way. So what can we do about, or how do we speak to these Ogas or these masters who sort of make the apprenticeship system look like it is bad by not settling these boys or being bad to them? Because you are an Oga yourself now.
Yeah.
So I don't even know, until I hear from your boys, I don't know how you're treating them.
Of course, what I pass through, I won't allow them to pass through it. You understand? For the fact that you go through some pain, you understand, you suffered in your boss' hand doesn't mean that you do the same thing to your own boys.
So you're saying it could be a question of what they went through in their Oga's hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes, probably my own boss, that is what he passed through in his own boss' hand, but he was trying to repeat it in our own.
So that's what he knows. That's how he knows.
I think that is how some of them do.
Okay.
Because they pass through a lot of difficulty or pain or stress, they want to repeat it into the life of the boys, which is not good.
Okay.
Sometimes I sit my boys down, my boys down, and I let them know. You are even lucky that things are
different
better now than before. That when you come to market, you won't make a sale, and I'll give you money to go and buy food.
Wow.
Nobody do that to me. I can remember that was the day, it was around 6 o'clock in the evening.
That was when you had your first meal.
It's not that my boss have not sold though, but because I have
You
not
didn't
brought,
bring
I
any
didn't bring
sale.
a customer that won't buy, will buy. He tried to punish me by giving me money around 6 o'clock in the evening to go and eat an afternoon food.
Okay. So we're going to take another Vox Pop. When we come back, I have so many messages and I still have a few questions that I want Uche to help us clarify. But first of all, let's find out people's general view about the business trading community. We went to the streets to ask them what they think, and this was their response. We'll be right back.
The Medley Show.
My experience is just that, they should try not to make money the priority all the time. Now, when you see many of these Igbos, when you buy things from them, and maybe it's kind of malfunctioning. So actually reform money has always been an issue. So this actually, there should be a kind of agreement, a kind of, trust in which you buy things from these people. And then when there is something, when it's under warranty, you should be able to actually, take it upon yourself to look at whatever is actually bought that is maybe malfunctioning. You should take it upon yourself to look at it so that you expand your, scope of operation with that particular customer.
What I observe generally from the youth of these days, especially saloon that I normally go to all the time, you discover that if you have these girls in the saloon, say 5 of them, the madam, she has collected her money. So you will discover that the girls, they are not, almost all of them, maybe just one will be serious to learn the work. Then me, as a mother, I will be telling her, what about the rest girls? She said she don't need to force them, that she has collected her money. Then to me, I look at it that they are the one losing. Your parents have paid, or maybe your guidance, they have paid for you. It's left for you to be serious in what you are doing. But a situation whereby you are there, you are doing all that, the madam will be plaiting here, you are not even looking at what the madam is doing. Then I observed that there was a time that my car broke down and I went somewhere to do I observed that the man used to do it, the windscreen, he used to do it very well. But you discover that at the end of the day, I discovered that the man doesn't even have apprentice, not even one. So when I was asking the man there, I said, this man is good and is even an elder for that matter. He's no longer, before you know it, the man will still retire because of the age. But nobody, not even one young man is there ready to learn from him. So I was worried. I said, what will happen in the next maybe 10 years? What will happen? Because these youths, they just want shortcuts, everything very easy. But by nature, that is not how the world is made. You have to be serious in whatever you are doing, whether education or in terms of skills acquisition.
When it comes to buying things, I like how they are they hustle a lot, how they like to make money and all that. But sometimes I think like they focus too much on making money. Some of them can be dishonest. At least sometimes some of them can give me the impression that they are dishonest. So it's not really something I like.
When it comes to business, they don't joke with their money. I think that is all. And some of them, they can entrust their business to you, maybe give you business, pay 2 times. They give you goods that you can pay for sometimes.
When it comes to marketing their product, they are excellent in it. So that's what I've experienced. They market their products well and they know how to monetize and save for a proper marketing system. So I'm giving them a thumbs up for that.
Igbo, they don't take things personal, like the way they do things, business, nothing personal. And that is very great.
Welcome back. This is still the Medley Show, and we have been talking about the Igbo apprenticeship system. And of course, I still have Uche in the studio, who has been taking us through his journey from when he was a one boy until now that he's an Oga. And that, of course, has been a great conversation. So I'm going to use most of our time left to take some messages. There are tons and tons of messages. So I'm going to take some questions as well, and then we'll get to talk about that as I read through. So this is from Mrs. Afolabi. She says, Mr. Uche, You really tried to be honest and faithful to your boss. Kudos to you, sir. Okay, give me a minute. The problem is, if an Igbo boy take your money, you know how to follow him. But if it's other tribe, you will not be able to find them. Okay, yeah, I think this is an answer to why they take only Igbo boys. Because you take them from their village, from their homes, from their parents. So you know how to find them if they run away with your money. Rather unlike when you take another tribe. Okay, yeah, so that's understandable. So let's take more messages. This one says, Uche, you really tried and you are a true son of your parents. Can Uche bring up his apprentice in a more strict way than his former boss? Okay, this is Paul from Lagos. Maybe because you're saying that you're more lenient now than your boss was to you and is asking you to be more strict. But the truth is, I feel like it's how it works for you. The generation now and then is not the same thing, so it's probably different. So good day. My fear is that I had to go for an apprenticeship training when I was 18 years old, but I refused to go because some ogas are not God-fearing. This is, I didn't quite, the name is not here, but from Ondo State. Oh, okay, so it looks like the model is being maybe other tribes now are beginning to do the same thing, because this is from Ondo State. So learning apprenticeship is better than someone going to the university to learn business administration. Okay, now this is a tricky comment.
It's a different experience entirely.
When you go to school and when you learn it.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to ask you now. With all these things, because some of the things that you outlined looks like what they actually teach these young people in schools. Do you think this Igbo apprenticeship model can be modified to be taught in schools? Not like they're not going to go to school, but the system, do you think it can be modified to be taught in schools? Because like I said, I saw a study about it in Harvard Business Review. So meaning it's gotten the attention of even the Western world.
Of course, they can be taught in school, enlighten them more, you get. So it's not a bad thing for it to be enlightened more in school. The Igbo, like Eba boy in Igbo, they can take it to the next level because we are in a new era now.
Yeah.
The way they used to do things then is no longer the way they are doing it now. You get. Like boys of nowadays, sometimes they are not even ready to even serve you anymore. They just want sharp money. Sometimes most of them engage themselves in this Yahoo and the rest. Sometimes when you bring them, after 6 months, they want to go. They want to start their own. They feel they have already arrived. Yeah, business, you need patience. There are a lot of things you need to know about business.
So you bring them over, they haven't even stayed up to the time and they want to leave and start their business. They want to go and
start on their own. Probably because their parents has money to start something for them. They won't be able to endure and pass the process, like serving you for complete 6 or 7 years, depending on the agreement you have with them before they will be settled.
Okay, so there's this thing I've noticed too. In some cases, like there's a shop where I buy baking stuff from. Okay. So when the Oga settled the Nwa boy and he started his own shop, I stopped going to the Oga's shop. I started going to, even now, I just pass and greet them, then I go to his own shop to buy from him. That's the Nwa boy that started his own business. Yeah, is that your experience?
Yes, I also have that experience. But when I was having my Oga, I was very close to our customers, very jovial. My Oga is one kind of person that have hot temper. Like a customer can walk in now, the shoe of 6,000. You know, there are some people that can be very funny. They can be annoying. They will start pricing you 2,000. My Oga will just got angry and collect the shoe from you and hang it back. But once I come in, I was like, Mama, come now. What is the problem? How much? You know, I was side patient with them. I will try to make them laugh, create jokes. So I have plenty customers than my boss because they know me more than him. They're
leaving your Oga's shop now to shop from
so
here.
When I was settled, almost half of his customers located me.
Wow.
He was even angry that I've collected all his customers. That was because the way I relate with them.
Okay. Time is no longer on our side. Uche, I want to say a very big thank you to you for coming here to share your story with us. And thank you so much to everyone who participated through your messages or just watching the show. I'm sure you learned a thing or two from all the conversations that we had here today. But we have to go now. But I will be back next week with something very, very interesting on the Medley Show. Until then, my name is Tochi Puta. You take care now. Bye-bye.